Hello everyone, so in today's video I'm going to show you different perspective of morning glory flowers and leaves as well. So let's start with the first perspective. So this one is the normal perspective, which means facing towards you. You are able to see all the parts of flower and you are not able to see the back side of the flower or lower portion of the flower. So I'm creating one more flower having same perspective but little bit overlapped with each other. So I have created two circles like this. First we will work on guideline and composition of the flower. So let's think different perspective of flower and the placement of flower. So I am creating one more flower here. This one is the side perspective of flower wherein we are able to see the lower portion of the flower as well. So I have created a oval shape and then I have created a U kind of structure at the base. Now you can attach a stem from all the flowers that you want to create, and I like to create composition like this so that I can understand my composition is looking good or not. So in this particular place I want to keep one flower bird and then again stems. So I think we are pretty much done with the flower part. Maybe I can create one more flower here. This one is also side perspective but little different than the first one. So in this one I'm creating an oval shape again but a little bigger. As you can see, the upper oval shape is a little bit smaller as compared to this one, and again the base of the flower, the U kind of structure. Now I think I can create one more flower which is half bloomed flower. So we have created a guideline for normal perspective, for flower bird, for side perspective, and in this one I'm going to create half bloomed flower. And I think I'm happy with the composition where I want to keep my flowers. Now let's start with the normal perspective flower. Now divide the circle into 4 equal quarters like this to get the center part of the flower. And in the center create 2 triangles in opposite direction overlapped with each other to create a star kind of shape like this. So you will get a star. Then in the outer edge you can create a star like this, and then you can rub the middle portion, but let it be for now. And then in between 2 spikes of star you can create a sleek triangle, longer triangle kind of structure. So the border portion of the triangle is towards the center, and as you are moving towards upward direction it is a fine line. So this structure is very small. I don't know whether you are able to understand it or not, but I have created a star in the center, and in between spikes of a star I have created longer triangle like this. So I have repeated this similar stuff in the second flower as well. And then in between these 2 triangles you can create one line or curve like this. So this one is the first point, this one is the second point. So in between these 2 you can create a line, and then you can create a small spike around the line and create the edge of the flower. And then you can keep the flower edge something like this, like little bit spike in the center line, and then you need to repeat the same thing, or else you can just create a wavy pattern. So just a rough wavy pattern. I'm not thinking too much around how I can create it, and something like this I have created. Now just trace everything quickly with the help of pen, and then we are going to rub all the unwanted pencil mark so that we can see things clearly. Now as you can see, I'm going through roughly to create the edge, and then I'm tracing everything exactly what I have done with the help of pencil. This one is size 08. I usually use bigger pen, but for fine structure like these you can use smaller as well. So I'm using 0.2 mm needle pen. And to create the center part, do not trace the star structure exactly, just create a dotted star or something like that. So I'm done with the tracing part for these 2. Obviously you can use normal ball pen also to do these things. The basic agenda of this video is to learn different perspective of leaf and different perspective of morning glory flower. So let's start with the side perspective. Now we need to repeat exactly similar stuff. The only difference is we have lower portion of the flower. So we need to see the green portion, and for the green portion you can create a cap like this, something like this. And then in the lower portion you can also create some zigzag pattern, which is again a part of petal only. And then in the upper portion of the petal, again I am creating a triangle kind of structure. In this one we are not seeing the center part of the flower clearly, we are seeing it from the side, so the lines are a little bit in a curve pattern. So again you can create a wavy edge or a pattern in the edge like we have created for the normal perspective, and the center part of the flower is somewhere around the bottom, but we are not able to see it clearly. Now let's create the flower bird. So flower bird is simple. You need to create a base cap, the green structure, the sepal, and then you can create an oval shape, and then multiple petals are folded into it, so we are able to see the colors, but these are not opened yet. So some lines and pattern you can create like this for the flower bird, and then trace everything quickly with the help of pen. I have created videos in the past how we can paint this morning glory flower in a different way. So if you are interested, you can refer to that link which I have given into the description section for the morning glory flowers painting. And if you know me, I have created many videos around different perspective of flowers for different flowers. So if you want, you can get a link for my playlist for different perspective of flower into my description section. Now we are done with these 4 flower bird, side perspective, front perspective. Now let's create one more. This one is also side perspective, but little bit more from the different angle, you can say. So we can see the center part here a little bit. So I'm creating a star shape in the bottom side. So remember, whenever you are trying to create the side perspective, the center should not be in the center, but a little bit more towards the bottom side. And then rest things are similar to what we have done for the normal perspective and side perspective. Wavy pattern around the edge, lines going through the center, and then let's learn the last one. This one is the half bloomed flower. Again create the sepals, the green structure, then create the U kind of shape, the base of the flower, and then create multiple random pattern to create petals. So this is more like flower is about to bloom but not bloomed yet. And then trace everything quickly with the help of pen. So we are done with the flower part. Now we are going to learn different perspective of leaves as well. Remember, whenever you are trying to compose a flower with multiple flowers and leaves, these perspectives are important, because if you are trying to create a bunch of flower, you cannot keep the same perspective flower and leaves. That does not look very good. So always try to create different perspective of flowers, different perspective of leaves. So I'm creating stems for all the flowers that we have created, all the flower birds that we have created. Now you have understood how we can create different perspective of flowers. We have created side perspective, and both are tilted towards the left side, but you can do the same thing for right side as well. Now let's create the leaf. So for the morning glory leaf, you need to create a heart. So you can keep this heart in different angle, and then at the base we don't need very pointed but a little U kind of shape, and from that area you can create a stem. Now create lines and pattern in the leaf area, and all the lines are coming from the base, as you can see, little curvy in nature. And you can subdivide as well if you want to. One is the normal perspective of leaf, little bit tilted towards downward direction. You can repeat the same thing for other direction as well. Now let's learn the side perspective and the folded one. So create a curve. This one is again tilted towards downward direction, and then create a triangle kind of pattern like this, and around it you can create a leaf kind of structure. and then from the behind you can create one more structure which is coming from the back. So you can assume this one is folded and we are able to see the leaf but from the side. Now I'm creating one more. Again, this one is the normal perspective but straight, like towards upward direction. And likewise you can create different leaf having different perspective. So I'm creating one more leaf. This one is a little bit different. Now you can create the flower vines around your composition, and you can also create smaller leaf in between. You can create multiple spiral kind of structure, and you can do all these things until you satisfied with your composition. So something like this we have done. Now let's trace everything quickly, and then I'm going to show you how we can beautify these flowers and leaf with little bit of a sketching technique. I have created a separate video wherein I have explained everything about sketching, like hatching, cross hatching, contouring, cross contouring, stippling. So if you want, you can learn those things in detail. I am going to use a little bit of a sketching technique today as well to beautify my flowers, but not in detail, but you will definitely get an idea what you can do to beautify your stuff. So we are done with the tracing part as well, and now let's do a little bit of sketching part. So first we need to create the triangle structure a little darker. So I'm creating more lines and pattern around that area to make it a little darker, and you need to do it for all the flowers that you have. So I'm showing you only one, and then with the help of soft hand you can create a little bit of shading in the tip of each line that we have created in between two triangles. So you need to do this with very soft hand. You don't have to create lines. If you're not comfortable doing these things, you can do this with the help of pencil as well. And then same thing you can do for the flower birds. So around the flower bird you can create multiple lines like this, and then at the base of the flower, the sepal part, you can do some cross hatching. So cross hatching means creating lines and then cross line. The closer your line are, the greater shade you will get, and then you need to repeat the same thing for all the flowers that you have. Now I'm repeating the same thing for the leaves as well, but only at one side of the leaf to make it little darker. So I have created some parallel line, and then I'm crossing those lines with some cross lines as well. Now do these things in your own speed. Do not match my speed. You have to do it slowly, gradually, and once you are comfortable doing these things, you can do it easily. But to start with, you need to do it slowly. So repeat the same thing for all the flowers that you have. You can do a little bit of shading around the base of the flower as well. And we are done with today's video. Hope this video is helpful for you guys. Please do let me know if you have any kind of feedback for me. And thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next video.